Dear students, this is the video in continuation with the last video on transfer of technology protocol. So let us start with the premises. So when there is a deal between the two companies for the transfer of technology, so this is the one point where the thorough detailed studies are supposed to be made. So premises related studies are important in both the companies. The premises are supposed to be keenly observed, keenly examined, particularly the premises of the selling unit company, where uh, it is it must be taken into consideration that what different factors related to the premises in the selling unit company are going to affect the quality of product. So what would be the exactly impact of the product, process or method to be transferred to the transport. Uh, uh, so the layout, construction and finishing of buildings and services like HVAC, that is heating, ventilation and air conditioning, water, power, compressed air. So these are the things which can have the impact on either product or process or the method to be transferred. So this kind of impact must be considered, and one has to find out that how what kind of impact would be there so far as the quality of product or the process of manufacturing is concerned. Similarly, in the premise about the premises, the risk we have to notice risk of processes. For example, reactions, exposure limits, fire and explosion risk. So the different in the different processings, there might be some reactions or exposure limits for something, or there are some kind of risk like fire and explosion risk. So it is very important to point out those things in case if any such risks are observed. So they must be noticed and they must be brought to the notice even to the receiving end company for avoiding such a risk, uh, so that to be safer. Then there has to be emergency planning. For example, in case of gas or dust release, spillage, fire. So actually these things are not noticed, but if the detailed analysis has been made regarding risk management, so some are the emergency plannings. Like these are the emergency situations where there are chances for the gas or dust release, or sometimes the spillage or fire. So those chances must be speculated and they must be considered while transferring the technology. If these things which are likely to occur, actually those things are the speculating things, so they must be noted while transferring the technology, so that in the receiving end company these kinds of risk can be predicted and the accidents or the emergency situations may be avoided. Another thing is the operator exposure. For example, atmospheric containment of pharmaceutical dust. The operators who are working in the premises, they are they are with the constant exposure to the hazardous chemicals, hazardous pharmaceutical dust. Not all the time the pharmaceutical dust is going to be hazardous. But yes, so far as the active ingredients are concerned, if the quantity of the active ingredient is too high and there's a constant exposure for the longer time, uh, then the personnel working in the premises, they may be at danger. So these things must be noted and must be uh, brought to the notice with caution while handing over the technology to the other unit. Then waste streams and provides for reuse, recycling and disposal. When we are talking about the large scale manufacturing, so the waste are going to be there. Sometimes there is a procedure for recycling of the waste or reuse of the waste, because these are the things, if not taken into consideration, the entire process can become expensive one. So to make it cost effective, it is very important that if there are going to be some waste, so the provisions have to be there about the reuse of those waste or recycling of those waste. And even if it is not there, either reuse or recycling, then what is the disposal provision, the provision for disposal of the given waste. It is also a certain important point which must be noted, because the company who is selling the technology, they have that kind of technology, that kind of studies with them. They have the well set procedures for the disposal of the waste. So this technical information, it is also very important and it is associated with the basic technology of the given process of manufacturing. So this process, additional information must also be transferred to the other unit who is going to buy the technology. Then equipment. The equipment, the different equipments are there in both the units, in the manufacturing units particularly, which are meant for the transferring of the technology from one side to another side. So equipment plays very important role so far as the process is concerned. There is a direct involvement of all those equipments, machineries, and therefore this is a very important aspect of the technology transfer. So let us see about the equipment. SU provides a list of equipment, makes and their models. So what are the different equipments needed for manufacturing, and what are their makes, what are their capacities, what are their models? So this every detail of all the equipments with the manufacturing unit, the SU. So the detailed information, that thorough list must be prepared by SU and must be transferred. Then production, including filling, packing and control. All the equipments involved in the production, in the processes such as filling or packing and controlling. So equipments associated with the production, packing and filling and everything, so they must be there. Then the qualification and validation, documentation. So it is very important, the equipments must have the qualification documents so far as the validation is concerned, their drawings, their manuals, There are maintenance logs. Maintenance logs means the record, chronological records of the equipments related to the maintenance. Then the calibration logs. Again, the register is being maintained for a given equipment for recording its calibrations, the date of calibration, time of calibration, and frequency of calibration to be done, and so on. Then the procedures, for example, regarding equipment setup, then operation, cleaning, maintenance, calibration, and storage. So this detailed information is required related to the equipment. It must be there. Not only the list of equipment, but also uh, all the validation related documents, all other things, records, and so on about the equipments. They must be also supplied. Then another point, the RU should review the information provided by SU together with its inventory list. So when the RU has to make the setup for running of the same process, which is which has been which comes under the transfer technology. So it is the duty of RU, receiving unit, to review the information provided by SU together with its own inventory list, because the list from the SU, when it is being reviewed by RU, so they have to verify that what inventory uh, they do have, and according to that inventory, how the list supplied by the SU uh, gets matching, and then the planning must be made. Then include qualification status of all equipments and systems. So according to their own inventory by RU receiving unit, so they also must find out the qualification status of all the equipments. I mean the validation qualification status. Then perform a side-by-side comparison of equipment at the two sites in terms of their functionality, mix, models, and qualification status. So this is also important because the same process is supposed to be uh, running in the receiving unit, and therefore the equipments available with the receiving unit, they must be compared side by side, piece by piece, one by one, with that of the equipments that were available with the selling unit or SU. The next point is the factors to be compared. So what factors should be compared regarding equipments? Minimum and maximum capacity. So when we are analyzing the equipments, when we are say making the comparisons between the equipments available in both the companies, so accordingly the comparisons must be made in terms of say maximum and minimum capacities, then material of construction of the equipment, because the material of construction must be noticed. Even though the capacities will be matching, maximum minimum capacities are matching, but if the construction of material construction is different from that of the same equipment which is there with the SU, in that case the material of construction may affect adversely on the quality of the product. Then the critical operating parameters. There are certain parameters regarding equipment, so they are considered to be critical. Why? Because they have the potential to affect the quality of product. If the site is being changed, the equipments are different, so some kind of critical factors are there which must be noticed. If they are noticed, they can be controlled. So such critical operating parameters must be identified. If SU has identified those critical operating parameters, so this information really helps in solving the problems of processing or in controlling the process properly so that the desired quality product can be obtained. Ultimately, the technology is being sold for the ultimate product, for that particular product. If the same quality product is not getting formed, is not getting manufactured, then the purpose of the transfer of technology will not get sorted. So it is very important to get that purpose sorted. Then critical equipment components, for example, filters, screens, temperature and pressure sensors. So these are the delicate and critical components of the equipments. So these things also must be recorded. Critical quality attribute. Some critical points are there related to the quality, so they can be considered as quality attributes. If and these things, the information related to this must be available with the SU, and the same has to be transferred to the RU, because these are the attributes related to the product. If these points are not taken into consideration, the desired quality of the product may not be obtained. Range of intended use. So when we are following some ranges, see, during the processing there are certain ranges. For example, see, heating at certain stage. So there is no a specific temperature of heating, but rather a range of the temperature over which the given material is to be heated up. So this is just one example. In different steps you will find the ranges, and these ranges, the information related to the ranges of the various processing parameters, they must be available with the SU, and the same has to be transferred to the RU. Then the equipment. Consider location of equipment in facility and building of the RU. So the location of the equipment, which can become a considerable factor, and we have to assess whether the location will be suitable or will not be having any undesirable impact on the final quality of the product. Draw process maps or flow charts of the manufacturing process. So this is quite obvious. Then when we have to set up a manufacturing plant, so it is important to have that process map or flow chart of that manufacturing process, so that the layout can be planned for the different equipments according to the process flow, according to the flow chart. Then consider flows of personnel and material. When we want any manufacturing process to go smoothly, definitely the flow of material and flow of personnel, both the things are important. Flow of material is important in that way when the process has to go without any hindrance, without any difficulty. There has to be a smooth running of the process. Otherwise, if the flow of the material will not be proper, the process may not go smooth. At some at some stage we have to stop, or we have to wait for some time, and that way the process gets hampered and the time of process will get prolonged or will be delayed, which is not correct as such for the smooth manufacturing, for the cost effective manufacturing. Then what is the impact of including new products on site? If there will be any new product, so what would be the impact? So this has to be predicted, uh, and this must be well thought at the time of transfer of the technology only. Then any modification of existing equipment that may be needed to be documented in the transfer project plan. When we are preparing the transfer project plan, we have to see if any modifications are required for the existing equipments, and in the receiving unit or RU company, those modifications must be implemented so that there will be no any problem for manufacturing process. Another thing which must be included in the transfer of technology protocol, uh, which is related with the quality control, that is the analytical method transfer. Then here the focus is also on transfer of analytical methods. Transferring only the manufacturing process is not enough, but along with it, the analytical methods must also be transferred effectively, because the quality of product, even the quality of intermediates during the manufacturing process, which can be assessed, even the quality of say raw materials, starting materials of that product, all of them are analyzed, and for this thing the analytical methods are available. Actually, the SU has developed all those analytical methods for every detailed analysis. Moreover, all those analytical methods are say reproductive, then robust and validated, and therefore all those analytical methods must also be transferred to the RU, because without those analytical methods it will not be possible to control the process or to get the desired quality product. Then the registered specifications. Well, when we are considering the analysis of the things, may be the raw materials or intermediate materials or the final product or the finished products, even the packaging materials. So for everything there are certain specifications. For example, you're using some raw materials for getting the product, so each and every raw material has certain specifications, so all those specifications are registered, and these registered specifications should be the part of the transfer project plan. Moreover, pharmaceutical products, starting materials, packaging components, and cleaning samples, for those the specifications are to be registered. All about to be known before process validation study samples. Process validation samples may be tested at the RU, the SU, or a third laboratory. The process of manufacturing, which has to be the validated one, or and those process samples, process validation samples must be tested either at the RU or the BU or a third laboratory. Now let us see the protocol defining the steps for transfer of analytical methods. The detailed protocol is there. First point, objective, scope and responsibilities of SU and the RU regarding what the regarding analytical methods. Then the specifications of materials and methods, because analytical methods are doing the analysis of all the materials and also they are analyzing the methods. So specifications must be there in the protocol. Experimental design and acceptance criteria. When analysis is being done, so the detailed experimentation has to be there. Moreover, the acceptance criteria, that means the tolerance limit. When we are analyzing some raw material, for example a drug assay is being carried out, so the acceptance limits related to the drug assay, that 95% to 105%, like that. Then reference samples for starting materials, intermediates and finished products. So the reference samples are important because these are the reference samples with which actually the newly received materials are supposed to be compared in terms of various quality attributes, and therefore the reference samples must be there, and those things must be the part of this protocol. Then documentation, including information to be supplied with the results and report form, deviations, references and approval. So all the documentation related to this information, information related to the results and report, if any deviations are there, then the references and approval. For everything, the documentation, the format of the documentations must be supplied or must be included in the same protocol. Now let us see the SU's responsibilities regarding transfer of analytical methods. So SU have the responsibilities related to the analytical methods. They must provide method specific training. So not only the methods to be transferred, but along with that the training is also needed for carrying out the methods, carrying out the procedures. Then they should assist in analysis of QC testing results. So it is the part of training also, training only. Then define all methods to be transferred for testing a given product, starting material or cleaning sample. Then define experimental design, sampling methods and acceptance criteria, and provide validation reports including proof of robustness. So all the details, or every detail we can say, it should be included in the protocol, or it is there in the protocol, and therefore according to protocol the SU has to go. And to fill up all that protocol, actually they will need all those things maybe experimental design or sampling methods or acceptance criteria and validation reports and so on. All such details will be required. The SU's responsibilities also include providing details of the instruments used, what different instruments are being used. So every detail of those instruments must be in the protocol. Provide reference samples, as we mentioned earlier also. The reference samples are needed. Provide approved procedures used in testing. For testing, for every kind of testing, so SOPs are there, standard operating procedures are there, and those procedures must be standard procedures or the approved procedures by them, which with the help of which actually if that the method is going to be effective, method is going to be perfect. So actual operate, operating procedures of the method procedures must be there in order to get the actual results of that analytical methods. Then review and approve transfer reports. Uh, Many times the transfer reports, they have to be reviewed, and reviewing again and again will attract some corrections, some additions, some deletions, and so on. And after reviewing, the approval is also needed. So this is related with the analytical methods, method transfer. Then the RU's responsibilities. What are the RU's responsibilities related to the analytical method transfer? The first one is the reviewing analytical methods provided by the SU. Agree on acceptance criteria, ensure equipment available and qualified. If they are receiving the information from SU regarding analytical methods, so they have to review it properly. They have to agree on the acceptance criteria for each and every method. If a single method has been studied, so every single method has some acceptance criteria, and they have to agree with that acceptance criteria. It may be a tolerance limit, or it may be, say, acceptance limits. If the if the limit range, whatever limit range the SU had, the similar limit range they may have to accept. And if the receiving unit or RU is making those limits range stringent, so it may not be working properly in that case. Then they should ensure the equipment, uh, whether it is available with them, that means in the RU or not. And also, even if the equipment is available with the RU, it must be qualified in the sense, um, validated. Validation wise, it must be qualified. For example, the operational qualification, performance qualification, etc. Then RUs has the responsibility, like they must have adequately trained and experienced personnel with them related to analytical method transfer. Unless they have properly trained and experienced personnel, so it is not possible to run the analytical methods there. And without running of the analytical methods in their own unit, it will not be possible to control the process, to assess or to confirm whether they are getting the similar kind of quality product or the expected quality product or not. So it is very important. And the training part, actually it is also a part of the protocol, but in the different chapters. So the training has to be there, and accordingly the trained staff, the RUs must have before the start of the process, after the transfer is over. Then RU has documentation system available, including or addressing what? Receipt and testing of samples, number one. Specifications and methods, number two. Then reporting, recording and controlling data. And then execute protocol, perform validation, prepare report. So these things, the SRUs, they must have the documentation, means how they are receiving the materials, how they are testing the samples, then how they are assessing or recording the specifications and the methods, how they are reporting, how they are recording, how they are comparing compiling the data. So all those things, the system of this data, they must have in with them for the effective or for the proper running of the analytical procedures in order to control the quality of the process as well as the product. Then next part is the training. Provided and document. Training must be provided and it must be documented. Merely giving training is not just sufficient, but uh, everything must be recorded. Which people they are supposed to get training, then whether how long they have got the training, how well they have got the training, whether that training given to them has been tested or not. So all those things must be documented, because the training is actually the integral part of the technology transfer agreement. If the documents evidence will not be there, so it cannot be considered that the training has been imparted to the person of RU. So when the training has been provided, it must be documented. Then compendial monographs, for example, the International Pharmacopoeia, European Pharmacopoeia, British Pharmacopoeia, and United States Pharmacopoeia. For different methods, actually, we follow the compendial monographs. So this must be provided. Method transfer should take care of the variability and sensitivity of the method and the specifications for the quality parameters. When the method has been transferred from SU to RU, so one has to take care about the variability and sensitivity of the method. See, every time the analytical procedure has been run, so we are not going to get the same value, but every time a different value will be obtained. But it doesn't mean that it is not giving the correct value. So that variability must be well assessed according to the statistical procedure. Moreover, the sensitivity of that method must also be thoroughly checked. The sensitivity is also it has to be checked using, say, the statistical procedure itself only. And the specifications of the quality parameters. Then the experimental designs and acceptance criteria developed. So for all those things, actually the training is must. For example, the test is what? As assay for potency. So considerations for transfer, non-specific assay should not be used for stability testing. So bracketing may be appropriate for multiple strengths. We can zoom it. Replication of test at each site, 2 analysis into 3 lots in triplicates, that is 18 per site. Then what is the setup? Different sets of instruments and columns, independent solution preparation. Acceptance criteria, direct comparison of mean and variability. And acceptance criteria, statistically derived 2 one-sided t-tests with inter-site differences, delta 2% and 95% confidence level. Here, when we are considering the different tests for analysis and a proper training, and what sort of training has to be given to the personnel in the quality control or quality assurance department. So these details must be followed. As just now discussed, what means related to the assay for potency. So these are the various aspects according to which the test uh, procedure must be set up. So the consideration for transfer, replication of test, setup, acceptance criteria, and acceptance criteria statistically derived. So this is very important. This is just an example for one test, that is assay for potency. In the similar manner, we can consider the examples of say other different tests. So the next test, see the content uniformity. It is also related with the quality of the product, and we have to mention every detail about the content uniformity test, that what should be the brackets for acceptance of the quality or acceptance of the values, then the replication, to what extent the replication must be there, so that uh, we develop the confidence about say reproducibility of the results. Moreover, the results or the values that are getting obtained, they must be they need to be statistically tested, whether what sort of variability would be is there, or if it is variability, if variability is there in the values, so whether it is say in the statistical within the statistical limits of say confidence level 3% to 95%. So this is very important with respect to each and every important analytical test that will decide actually the say actually quality of the product. Even while controlling the process, the intermediates how to be tested. If the intermediates are properly tested, then only we can expect the desired quality in the final product. Another example, another test, dissolution, which is also a part of quality control test of the final product. And in the similar way, the different aspects we have to consider related to that method. Cleaning. So this is very it seems very minor test, minor method, but also it is important because the cleaning has to be proper, and moreover the cleaning must be ascertained. Actually, the premises or the equipments, when they when the cleaning aspects are concerned about them, so definitely the quality of the product uh, may get affected if the cleaning aspects are not addressed properly. And for this purpose, the proper documentation has there, and and this is intentionally made a part of that protocol itself, because SU, they are having all the procedures related to the cleaning aspects, cleaning of the premises and cleaning of the equipments, and SOPs and validation of the cleaning procedures are there. So all of them must be transferred. So it is therefore a part. It is a part of the entire transfer document. So this is where we complete all the aspects related to the technology transfer protocols. We have considered the protocol for each and everything, right from inventory of the raw materials to the finished product, uh, and all the aspects that are coming in the process from raw material to finished product. So they all must be in detail in they must be included in detail in the protocol which is meant for the transfer of the technology. The protocols actually made with a view, with the purpose that nothing should be left. Every small detail must be addressed well between both the units, so that after if anything goes wrong in between the two companies, so the disputes must be avoided. Disputes won't be there. The cost which has been paid by the RU, so they should get the technology transfer to them worth of that cost, they whatever they have paid. Otherwise, if they are not getting as what they expected after paying the cost for the transfer of the technology, so a situation of dispute will arrive. And when such a situation will arrive, then most of the things will go wrong, and it will be difficult for everyone. The entire procedure will become uneconomical, and the purpose of the transfer of technology will not be solved. So in order to avoid all those things, it is very important to get this protocol filled up, and it should be made the part of the transfer technology transfer documents, so that accordingly every detail is there would be evidence for the transfer of every detail from SU to RU. So here we end the topic technology transfer protocol. Thank you very much.